Mr. Evans. In this video I'm going to discuss my approach for reading the case studies in paper 1, which is a really important skill. Looking at paper 1 here, you've answered the multiple choice questions. Perhaps you've answered the short answer questions as well, and now you're at section C, 2 data response stimuli questions worth about 25 marks each. This is what the exam paper looks like. You open it, you've got your multiple choice questions, 10 of them. Then we've got the short answer questions, and once you've got past them, you hit the case studies. So there are 2 case studies, and the evidence that we've got at the moment, and it's not a huge sample size, there's only the specimen material and the 2016 exam, is that AQA are asking, giving you about a page of writing and then asking a 9-mark analysis question and a 16-mark evaluation question on each of the case studies. So last year it was Thomas Cook and Halfords. So in terms of time management and where you are in the exam, there is potentially an argument that these questions are really important. I recommend you leave at least half an hour per question, there is an argument maybe that you would want to tackle the second after the multiple choice question and then come back and do the short answer questions. Ideally, if you can, before the exam, practice which works best for you. If you're running out of time and maybe you haven't answered a 16-mark question, A, that's worrying and you need to speed up, but B, maybe there's an argument for you prioritising these case studies before you look at the short answer questions. But that's very much up to you, and I certainly wouldn't make a recommendation either way, unless I knew your individual circumstances. So what I've done is I've copied a case study into a Word document just because I find it easier to edit. So when you get to these case studies, rather than reading the case study and then reading the questions, I always recommend reading the questions first. The reason being, it will help you highlight and read the case study in a far more effective way. So I recommend that you bring in a minimum of 2 highlighters to the paper 1 exam. There are different ways of highlighting a case study and reading a case study. The important thing is that your brain likes patterns and order and categorizing things. Now, the answers basically to these questions are in the exam. So what you need to do is you need to be reading the case study. You don't want to read the case study and then think, oh, that's interesting, and then look at the question and think, well, I didn't really pick up on that. So you look at the questions and then pick your 2 colours, and you use these 2 colours to highlight the case study. So in this case, all of the bold and the underlining and the colours here are mine. But the first question, the 9-mark one, analyse how its marketing decisions might have helped Halfords achieve its high market share in the bicycle and bicycle accessories market. Okay, so marketing decisions. I'm going to be looking out for any marketing decisions that Halfords have made, and particularly in relation to high market share. Next question, Halfords have modified its business approach and expecting to achieve higher profitability as a result. Do you believe that Halfords' operation management decisions are likely to increase its profitability, are more likely to increase its profitability than its staff training program? Justify your view. So I can get rid of this first sentence, it's not actually part of the question. The question is it operations management decisions or the staff training decisions that have increased profitability? Okay, now when I'm reading the case study, I can be far more focused on those 2 questions. So marketing decisions, staff training, or operational decisions. Okay, so first paragraph tells me that Halford provides a wide range of car accessories. Its main specialism is selling cycling products. Okay, that's products, about the marketing mix, so I highlight that in yellow. Market share, this is a key term from the question. High market share, I'm going to want to use this information in my 9-mark answers for some application. 25% sales of bicycles, 15% share the market in bicycle accessories. Okay, so that's stuff about market share. AQA, quite helpful. They tell you what the question's about, and then in the case study they signpost you to where some of the information is that you can use for application. So Halford has modified its business approach in recent years by broadening its operations. Okay, so that's operations management decisions. It now offers a range of car accessories such as headlight bulbs, bicycling accessories, seats, helmets. So I'm categorising this. This is about the product range that they sell. Products are a marketing decision, but also you could argue that it's an operational decision to broaden its product range because they need to bring in those products. They need to make sure they've got the facilities to sell these products. And I can also have a bit of application here. In terms of products, they will have gone from 200 to 283 different types of bikes. It's a product decision. Okay, improving the supply chain, operations, more reliable and flexible deliveries, 90% of orders delivered to stores within 90 minutes. Great. So that's operations. Okay, how would that affect Halford's profitability? Next little bit, I'm told that we're in a 20-minute drive of 90% of the UK population, a factor that's boosted online sales as most of its customers choose to collect online items from the nearest store. So you could argue that this is about place, a combination of stores and online sales. So I've got quite a bit of information about place. I've got quite a lot of information about product. That's probably going to do me in terms of answering my marketing question. I'm only going to have 9 minutes to do it. I don't want to be introducing too much. Next paragraph, they've introduced a fitting service. So they paid for their bulbs, blades, and then they paid to fit them. Okay, so again, it's about product. This, I'm told, it generates a high profit margin. Okay, so you could argue this is about, we could even categorise this in light blue because the staff have been trained to fit these. Okay, so we can use that in the second question. All right, now I get onto this paragraph here, and I notice that these staff have invested in their staff training program to improve skills and productivity. More training with more training, staff should be able to fit a wide range of products more quickly, provide better service. Okay, so what effect is that going to have on profitability, which is this question here? Well, should help create revenue, but it's increased staff costs. Okay, so I'm beginning to get a little argument here about why staff training has been important. Companies' efforts to increase labour productivity and capacity utilisation should achieve lower unit costs. So these are measures of operational efficiency. It's got a reputation for competitive prices, so it tries hard to keep prices down by reducing costs. Okay, lots there about operations that we could use. Just final bit I've highlighted there, they're talking about profitability. That's the approach that I would recommend for using to highlight the case study, because when I'm going to be planning my answers for this in a minute, now that I look at that big chunk of text, it's nice and easy to see where my information for the 9 marker is and my information for the 16 marker.